And hello, and welcome everyone to the Corona Multiverse, where the world of virus plagues. Yeah.
I wish you'd told me that earlier. I would have changed the title screen up the top there where it says the
Oh,
comic multi. I can do that in post. I can do that in
there
post.
you go. There you go. It's our quarantine special, everyone. By which I mean Matt and I were making fun of it and no selling it last week, and then the week after it became an official pandemic. So how's your life under quarantine, Matt? Good. How's the pandemic treating you?
I'm not really under quarantine. I'm still going out doing my everyday thing, but it's been very weird like going to places and stuff because there's like not as many people as there usually is. So it's like a ghost town kind of.
I wish I bought more toilet paper. I wished I hoarded when I had the chance because now all the toilet paper is gone and I wish I had some. Actually, no, my store was smart. They're like, look, we have no toilet paper, but here's like face tissue, like five for $5. So I got a bunch of that.
Our stores like first up people were just buying in droves, but then they started doing something where they would close off that aisle and they'd have like people at either end and they would give people who wanted some one only one bag so people weren't like taking like 20.
Toilet paper bouncers. Look, man,
Yeah.
you're not on the list. You can't wipe your ass. I'm sorry. Wiping your ass, the hottest club in 2020. I went shopping this week, which was probably a terrible idea because I didn't get paid till the 14th. So it's like, okay, I get to go out and do that now. Oh no, wait, it's Saturday. Everyone had the same idea. Fuck, there's no meat or eggs.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Got a lot of freezer food. What have I been having? I had some pizza bagels and I had some taquitos. So that's what I've been living off of.
Yeah, just emptying the freezer.
Pretty much so, yeah. And then I'm like, would it be weird if I ordered a pizza during all this, or is that a dick move where it's like, hey, underpaid delivery guy, please come to where I live and bring me
That
food and
that's
maybe a disease?
that's exactly how I've been feeling. Like, oh, I really kind of like want to get some like Uber Eats or something. I'm like, oh, but I don't know about the fast food industry at the moment.
It's so true. It's like, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I don't know at all. I know I got to go out like Monday, Tuesday, whenever they restock, because I know I'm not going to make it on what I have right now. Although I felt like a real big brain genius because I made hot dogs for lunch, but I'm like, God damn it, I don't have any mustard. But there's a communal kitchen downstairs here in the condo. Normally the door is locked, but I'm like, I bet it's open and I bet there's mustard, and there was mustard. And man, I would love to be in the room when they look back that security tape where it's like, oh, there's Joel taking his hot dogs for a walk. Then he goes to the kitchen for a couple minutes. Oh, and he comes back with mustard. What an adventure. Some poor underpaid security guy. That's what he's gonna have to watch. Been taking the opportunity to play some games though. I got back into Monster Hunter in a big way. I checked out Darksiders Genesis. I've been streaming too as well.
Nice. I've been keep meaning to do that, but I've been really busy the last couple of weeks. But hopefully, this whole coronavirus thing makes it so I'm not too busy very soon. But yeah, I got into Monster Hunter as well. I also just yesterday bought Neo 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw you screwed around with the character creator and that looked good.
It's a punishing game. It's a lot harder than the first one. Like straight like first up, that first boss is like almost impossible to beat until you level up.
Oh wow. Huh. As Luis in the chat says, wait, Joel, you've been streaming? Yes, on my channel. I did whole 2 whole days of it. I did Darksiders Genesis and I did some Monster Hunter. Check it out. It's good. It's good stuff. I'm trying to raise some money with donations there for Capes and Quests season 2, so I can host the show somewhere else and maybe pay people who show up,
Nice.
because that's how you do it. What else has your week been, Matt? Anything else interesting? Just Neo?
Yeah, not really that much thanks to this whole viral thing. Can't really do much.
It's kind of nice though to finally have an excuse to be lazy, where it's like, no, I always worked at home, I always social distance. Now I have a reason for it. Now I'm not being antisocial. Now I'm being smart. I'll tell you, it's really fucked up when it's like, hey, the price of international flights has like, gone to an all-time low now. You could travel anywhere in the world if you're not afraid to roll the dice. I'm like, fuck it, I'm young, I can beat this. It's the old and the young and the sick who are at risk. Oh, we closed Disneyland and all the cool places you would want to go.
Yeah, oh, every place you come, I know, or at least here in Australia, if you're coming from overseas and stuff, as of today, I think it's mandatory that you do a 2 week self quarantine when you
Oh
get
wow,
here.
yeah. I think they're doing that too for like Air Canada and shit. They're actually like taking people's temperature and stuff when they get on,
Hmm.
which is probably for the best. But at the same time, it's like the disease is already fucking here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are you worried about? You should have been worried about the spread a month ago. But yeah, that actually dovetails quite nicely how I said, travel is cheap, but you don't want to go anywhere. And another thing that's going to be stopping you from doing that is everything is canceled. Everything is canceled forever. Anything you wanted to do is not going to happen now for the next couple of months because everything is canceled. Every Comic-Con you can name, canceled or moved. Every big movie canceled and or moved to further notice. Shit, even TV shows like The Flash and stuff that's currently filming is now all on a hiatus.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Comic Cons because I believe there is at least two Comic Cons here in Australia in the next like couple of weeks that are actually still continuing.
Really? And they
Yeah,
haven't done like refunds, they
which
haven't done nothing?
yeah, as far as I know, it's still going ahead because I saw I think only yesterday or the day before them advertising Artists Alley.
Huh. So those two Australian Comic Cons and WWE wrestling are the only things that are going to continue despite everything else. I'm sure you've seen Matt because I've now transferred the wrestling brainworms to you. You saw that SmackDown that they had at the
Yeah,
Performance Center that they own at a college, and they did a whole show in front of nobody.
it was so surreal.
It was damn near avant-garde. If someone did that to like make some sort of statement about, wrestling as a performance art and like how important it is to have a crowd to feed off, I'd say it would be goddamn genius, almost Kafka-esque, but instead it's just so fucking weird.
It is. It looks so weird. It looked like a public access set.
It did, because they like gave them their big entrances, and like guys like Jeff Hardy who have been doing this for like almost 40 years are like still playing up to the crowd, like, yeah, Orlando. I'm like, there's no one there, Jeff. Who are you talking to?
That's the thing. They see the people still. They've had too
Yep.
many hits to the brain.
I mean, Jeff probably. And then like to have Triple H there, the son-in-law, the guy who will probably inherit the company one day, the guy who also got demoted this week and yet has more work to do now than ever to run this show and make it not look like shit, but you can tell it looked like shit.
Hmm.
And the fact where they're like, no, 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 but come back next week because we got Gronkowski, the football man, who we've signed to wrestle now, and he's going to have a thing at Mania in like a couple weeks. And it's like, do you guys seriously think you're still going to be doing Mania in like a month until Florida tells us no?
Yeah, Florida will just keep continuing because it's Florida.
I mean, in Florida, come on, you got like gators and cocaine and the KKK. A little virus ain't going to keep them down. Anything goes in Florida. It's basically America's glory hole, and that's the way they like it. Nothing can stop Florida. Nothing can stop Florida Man, the greatest Floridian superhero. I'm sure you've heard that bit too, where it's like, yeah, every news story you ever hear, where it's like, Florida Man did this. It's all just one person. It's
Yeah,
Florida
it's
hyphen man.
only one person lives in Florida, and he's always high on bath salts and fighting alligators and.
That's his superpower. With the power of bath salts, that's his Green Lantern ring. You have shown that you have great bath salts, and with that comes great responsibilities. But yeah, so everything is canceled. Maybe not forever, but maybe forever.
Yeah, a lot. You mentioned like a lot of movies are like pushing back their release dates and stuff. To the point where there's like nothing out at the moment. So I think just this weekend was the lowest box office weekend in the last, I think, 20 years or something.
Yes, yes, it was. Like even something just a week ago onward, a big Pixar movie that normally cleans up only made like 60 million in
Yeah,
its opening week,
it's gonna
which
be
is
it's gonna be insane thinking that like Sonic the Hedgehog would be one of the highest grossing movies. Bloodshot will be one of the highest grossing films.
Man, Vin knew, man. Vin Diesel was on top of this shit. He knew what was up. Now, in this era of pandemic, is the perfect time for the Valiant universe and Bloodshot.
Did you see Fast and Furious 9 got pushed back a whole year?
I did see that.
A
Holy
whole
shit.
year? That's so strange. I guess they didn't want to compete with like Eternals and James Bond and stuff in November or something.
Honestly, part of me is actually kind of happy all of these things got pushed back because it's like, oh, hey, Black Widow got pushed back. Oh, good. I want to make a big Black Widow video, and now I have time to do it. Hey, Bloodshot might be like the last new big superhero movie for a bit. Oh, good. I'm working on a Bloodshot video. This is perfect. Thank you.
People can actually go and see that film. I suggest you don't, though. It's pretty bad.
Well, thanks, coronavirus, for making my job a little easier. I mean, that's the thing about Bloodshot. It's like, what were you expecting from a Bloodshot movie?
That's true. That's true.
People like Bloodshot because it's so simplistic. And again, I reread the first 2 volumes because it's 2 volumes for one arc. And I'm like, this, you couldn't ask for a more straightforward setup. Like, this is just begging to be turned into an action movie. And they did.
Yeah.
And they made it. But I guess, we'll ask the chat, too, because they're here. We can get them involved. And what are you most sad that got pushed back? Oh, some people mentioning James Bond. Yeah, that's right. The Die got pushed back.
Yeah, to November, where it's going to compete with Eternals. I think like there's like a new movie every week. New Mutants got pushed back, which, boy...
That film is just fucking cursed, isn't it?
Oh, they had a release date. I saw marketing for it. It looked great, and it's like, oh, we're pushing it back.
Man, who did that movie run over? What dark magic user did that movie offend that, there's some horrible blood curse against it, that nothing can ever happen?
Oh, God.
And yeah, you're right. The trailers actually haven't looked half bad. The trailers are like, oh, I might actually check that out now. Where before it's like I had no interest.
Yeah, it's mutants being mutants and not being afraid to be mutants, like on all the other mutant movies.
I mean, I wasn't going to go to the theater and see it, but, as soon as it came out on DVD, I'd be like, ooh, gotta check that out. Or I'm assuming when it comes to the Disney Plus app, because you figure it has to be going there soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you see Disney? They released Frozen 2 and Rise of Skywalker early because they basically knew people were going to be, trapped up in their house with this. So they figure they'd clean up on the digital market.
Yeah, I watched Rise of Skywalker again. The first time since I've seen it in the theater. And boy, I don't think I'm going to be watching that film anytime soon.
Yeah, I saw you tweeting about it, and you said where it's like, man, this is a beautiful mess, isn't it?
It is. It's like a fun adventure film, but boy, is it all like if the minute you start thinking about the plot, it just like dissolves.
It's also probably worse now because you got to watch it because of all the novel shit.
Oh God, yeah.
And again, our review of that movie was like mostly positive, like 60-40 positive, where it's like, man, this was cool, but I wish they didn't do that thing, or man, I wish they had more time to develop this idea.
Yeah, I wish they let scenes breathe.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. But yeah, so everything is canceled, maybe forever, maybe not. We'll keep you posted on these things. But until then, everything is canceled. DC solicitations came out this week, and there were some interesting developments off the back of that.
There were.
Perhaps one of the biggest ones, the one that everyone was tweeting me and telling me about, is that Geoff Johns will be off Shazam come summertime to be replaced by Loveness.
Yeah, but it's only for an issue.
Yeah. Which, had a lot of people scared, and, myself too. I'm like, oh no, have they finally muscled him out completely?
Nah, I don't think so. Not yet.
No. Because in my mind, too, I'm like, but he's writing such a huge story now. I just read issue number 11. I'm like, he can't be done now. He just introduced Superboy Prime and the whole Monster Society and all this other stuff. They can't end this just now. There's too much.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was just the one issue thing until you told me. That's good. I'm happy about that.
Or a couple issues, because I know at the exact same time, Robert Venditti is off Justice League, and we're getting Simon Spurrier, who's writing, I think, a 3-issue arc.
You know what that tells me? That means, hey guys, we need you to help develop some 5G stuff that's going to be coming out, probably some new ongoing series. So take a break here for this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which I wonder
I
what they
think
could be
Robert
doing.
Venditti is actually writing one of the generations. I think he's writing Generation 1? Well, one of them. I know
Interesting.
Generation 0 is being written by, like, some guy who's, like, some editor who's written, like, one backup story in, like, a Wolverine and Cyclops book.
That's worrisome.
Yeah.
When they start farming stuff out to editors, that's a little scary.
Yep.
But hey, we'll wait and see. I guess too, as people in the chat were saying, Free Comic Book Day might actually be moved now because of this Corona shit.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, I might not be able to get Generation Zero. Oh no, I won't be able to get my Scott Wabdell book that I wasn't going to be reading anyway. Why am I doing this voice? I think I might have Deviwis. Is this one of the things? Yes, it's right there. It's right there. It's in the list. I heard it on Dr. Oz. Yep, baby talk's right up there. But yeah, so there's your Shazam update, everyone. We like to remind you every so often that this book still exists because it's really good and you should be reading it. And
Yeah.
DC seems to be doing everything in their power to try and kill it.
Yeah, I have no idea why. When the movie was, like, really popular with people, the book was really good. The book came out exactly at the right time.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Again, it's especially too, you figure, it's in their best interest to keep this character in this book relevant and in the public eye because they're gonna be doing the sequel soon.
Yeah, and it really doesn't make any sense for them to kind of push away this character who, for all intents and purposes, could be like a headlining character of this 5G stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he could absolutely
we don't want
be
it.
one.
I mean, that's just kind of the story of Shazam and Captain Marvel at DC. He could be so much, but nah.
Yeah, nah.
But fuck him. I wonder, is there a little bit of resentment for the character because they didn't create him because he was created somewhere else first and absorbed into them?
I would say that if that had happened, like, 10 years ago and the creators and all that was still alive and everything, but that happened so long ago that I just don't think
most people don't even know.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone gives a shit.
It's weird. It's very, very weird. I guess he will always live on as, the face of truly cult characters. All right, what else we got going on here? Oh, a piece of news that I think we all knew was coming at some point or another, but it still doesn't make me any less excited. Tom Taylor has officially let it be known that the next chapter in the DCeased trilogy now is going to be called Dead Planet, and it will be taking place after the events of the previous one, so we get to see what happened to everyone who left Earth.
Yeah, it looks like some time has passed since Damien, John, and all those people are all grown up.
Yes, we have a brand new Trinity, and it's a very interesting Trinity because obviously, yeah, we got Damien as Batman, John as Superman, but also Cassie as the new Wonder Woman, which is surprising because, we always think of her as the, Wonder Woman successor, yet she really only ever hung out with, Tim and Connor and everything. So to see her now with Tim and, with Damien and John is kind of interesting. I wonder if they're going to mention that at all or if that's going to play into it because it's not like they grew up together or anything.
I have a feeling we're going to see, like, the Undead Teen Titans or something.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Man, it's interesting, too, to think that, we had a little Superman and a little Batman who were so popular in their own series for so long, and never did they pitch the idea, well, why don't we come up with a new little Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I'm surprised that never happened. I guess because, like, no one really cares about Wonder Woman at DC anymore. Like, her book just seems to just, like, putter along and just, like, do okay, I think. But no one cares about it.
It's true. She has some great runs from time to time, but as we've said, it's like, they keep the book alive mainly because she is just the most recognizable superhero, and it's not like they could just cancel it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame that no one has a more consistent run, and that Wonder Woman, historically, the only consistent she's had is inconsistency. But yeah, this looks cool. Swamp Thing is there, which means we're probably going to get to see more play with the green, because it seemed like Poison Ivy had stayed behind on Earth and took control of the green, so I wonder.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to come back to because the story, I think, is they're coming back to Earth. after
which is a dead planet.
20 odd years or something. So I'd imagine we'd find out that Ivy's been infected or something and turn the green against Swamp Thing and the others.
Right. Yeah, also Constantine is there, and Constantine was part of like that special one shot of all the heroes who tried to save Earth, but it only failed.
Yeah, who tried to go back in time to save Earth, and they couldn't because goddamn Wave Rider and Dr. Fate and all those really random people stopped him.
All the goddamn time heroes. Time heroes fucking it up for everyone. They should have got the Legends of Tomorrow to handle this shit. I mean, they would have fucked it up, but at least it would have been funny when they did.
Yeah.
Tish. But yeah, this is cool. I like that this is a trilogy, and also I like that there's enough time in between and that they're, short and to the point, these.
Yeah. Do we know how long this series is going to be? It's going to be like the same as the other one, 6 issues, right?
I'm going to assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird and fucked up at DC right now? The things that we're most excited for are these Elseworld books that have nothing to do with the main continuity.
Well, they're the most creative.
It's weird, ain't it?
It is. It's weird. And you know what else? Like, this book comes out, I think, April, May? Or April, May, June, that time. The same time as the new Dark Metal book, the heavy metal book or whatever Scott Snyder's doing. Plus 3 Jokers, plus there was something else. I'm just trying to remember what. I can't remember what other event there was. There was like 4 events going on at the same time at DC.
Joker War? Is Joker War happening at the same time?
I think so. I think that might have been it.
Well, Joker War was in the solicitations because, yes, you get the main story in Batman, and then we get a ton of tie-ins for everything else.
Yeah, I think it technically starts this coming week in Nightwing.
Yes, that's right, because he's going to have a whole Joker story arc, which will apparently end with him becoming Dick Grayson again, which makes me actually want to pick it up and read it, if only for that.
Yeah, same.
Man, I love the idea that Joker is the one to just slap some sense into Dick Grayson. It's like, hey, your name is Dick. It's not fun if you don't know who you are.
But it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense because he would want to do that because, yeah, it's not fun if Dick Grayson doesn't remember who the Joker is and their relationships and stuff.
We have had a long history since you were a small child. Why do you not remember? Why has Batman not talked to you and made you remember? The fact that Joker cares more.
Yeah.
An interesting one that almost makes me want to read Batgirl again. Apparently she's going to be fighting her brother, James Gordon Jr. again, because now he is apparently intrinsically tied with the Joker since Dark Mirror and everything. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, but wasn't he good the last time we saw him?
Yeah,
wasn't he on pills that was helping?
He was like trying to convince his father not to turn evil.
Yeah, wow. It's like, why are they backsliding on him? I actually kind of liked the idea that he was kind of moving into more of a good direction.
They don't seem to know what to do with that character.
They also don't seem to know what to do with Batgirl, and it's like, well, we just can't have her fight the Joker again. Well, let's have her fight her brother, I guess, because he's the closest thing she has to a Joker-esque character.
I haven't been paying attention to her solo series, but like, did they ever retouch on like her father being infected and like what? Because they did that in the I think it was the first issue of Hell Arisen or like one of the tie-ins where like Jim was like rounding up all the homeless people to kill, and Batgirl kind of got involved in that and kind of knew something about her father was off.
I don't remember, actually, and again, I haven't been keeping up with it either. Last time I checked, I know she was fighting a new evil version of Oracle that was like a computer program.
Yeah.
So I wonder, might have to look back into that, if only because it's like, all right, what's your reasoning to undo James Gordon Jr.'s kind of happy ending, all things considered? Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it could just be as simple as, he stopped taking his pills.
Yeah, he ran out.
Yeah, ran out.
Everyone was buying them up because of the coronavirus.
Exactly. There you go. You make it like a whole big indictment of the American medical system right there. It's like, he couldn't afford his pills anymore, and so he became like a megalomaniacal supervillain. He's just one pill away from being like a Joker Jr. Yeah, wouldn't that be some shit? So yeah, that's some of the solicitation stuff we got. kind of cool, kind of interesting. Again, we'll be able to check that out closer to June, summertime.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. I guess with all that out of the way, too, we can talk about what we read this week. And for once, I actually made a really good dent in what I read this week.
So did I.
Yeah, I read almost everything and a couple extra things that I'm sure we'll talk about as well.
Awesome.
Where would you like to start, Matt?
I'm just trying to remember what I actually read this week. I read the new X-Men centric book over at Marvel, Cable issue 1.
Okay, you picked that up and I didn't, even though it's written by Duggan and drawn by Noto, who are two people I really like. Tell me about the Cable.
So, I think this might be tying into that X of Swords book event thing that's coming.
Right.
Because we get to see Cable. He's on the island. He's like we get a little bit more of the island culture, which involves this like fight club ring where Cable fights against Wolverine and Wolverine loses, so he owes him a marker. We're not explained what the marker system is.
Is this like friggin' a John Wick now?
Yeah, something similar to that. But there's really funny lines in there because like Wolverine apparently has lost everyone he's fought in the ring.
Really?
Yeah. And Silver Samurai's there and making jokes about how he's going to owe everyone on the island a marker by the end of the year and everything.
I did see that page, and I do like seeing Silver Samurai and things.
But yeah, Cable gets told by these little kids that one of the little kids got lost on Monster Island, so he gets to find him and ends up fighting this giant monster. And while he's fighting this giant monster, he sees something like sticking out of its paw, and knocking the monster out, he pulls it out, and it's a sword. And touching the sword gives him like the sword's like history, and we learn that it is the light of Galador, which is related to Rom.
I was gonna say, is that fucking Rom and the Space Knights?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So this Space Knight came to Earth after tracking like monsters and landed on like what was Krakoa and fought this monster and got crushed, and its sword went into its foot and everything. But upon activating this sword, more of the Space Knights from across the universe get activated, and they've been long like dormant for like 3 millennia, and they're coming for the sword because apparently the sword can, I guess, rewrite history or like rewrite like reality in a way, because they plan on using it to rewrite reality in their image.
That sounds important.
And yeah, that's basically where the issue ends. These knights coming for Cable's sword, and Cable wants the sword because he says that the old Cable is about the big guns, but the young Cable is about the big swords.
Oh, I like that.
and apparently old Cable is still alive because we see him at the end of the book.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, how are they gonna square that circle? Because they still have young Cable from like Extermination.
Yeah, apparently he's like, I know he was traveling the timeline. At the end, he's like traveling someplace somewhere and like killing crabs looking for someone.
Was he killing crabs with a tiny comb and the special shampoo? That's what you need.
No, a big gun.
That works fine too. That actually sounds pretty dope, Matt. And just, man, the X-Men in general pissing off aliens and space entities all week this week, weren't they?
Oh boy, were they ever! And they've never been better when they have to fight cosmic threats. I love it when they have to fight cosmic threats.
It is kind of a nice thing too to be like, look, they may be big swinging dicks on Earth now, in the pecking order, but in the cosmic pecking order, they can still get attacked by Space Knights or by the Brood, as happened in the main X-Men book this week. Which itself is actually a carryover from New Mutants. When they were fucking around in Shiar space, they grabbed a Brood King Egg and brought that back to Earth, which was a terrible idea, as anyone could tell them.
Or anyone could tell them, but no one, especially Rain, would listen.
No one bothered to. I love when Brew, the little guy, the good Brood, steps on it. It's like, is that a goddamn king egg? Oh my god, you killed us all. The Brood Queens fight over those. We're all gonna die, you dicks. Get that shit out of here. Oh no, wait, we can't just give it back because it's probably bad that they have it to begin with.
Yeah, because if they have it, they get a king, and there'll be millions of Brood throughout the universe, and everyone will die.
I loved how the Brood got to Earth, how they crawl over these big space whales like little parasites and infect them and eat them from the inside and then just point them to Earth to crash.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
It's wonderfully gross. And this issue is funny too because we also get to check on in with Vulcan and what's happening with him, the third Summers brother, the often not talked about Summers brother. And he's having like a bit of a midlife crisis where it's like, man, I used to be a king and a space god and I had the fire in me, but now I just drink on the weekdays.
Yeah, and the weekends and the weeknights and the weekend nights and every time I'm always drinking.
Damn it, Vulcan, you're drinking right now when you're talking to me. I know. And it's basically like how can Vulcan get his groove back is what this whole issue basically breaks down to.
Yeah, yeah, and that's in helping his family get this egg off Earth.
Yeah, the answer is fighting a cosmic threat. And even too in the little appendices of this book, they mention more about the general state of the cosmos at the moment, and they're sure to remind us where it's like, hey, Charles Xavier and Lalandra had a daughter.
Yeah, yeah, can't believe they actually referenced that.
Yeah, and that daughter is trying to make, some plays in the Shiar court right now to try and, climb the ladder. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting, especially with Empire coming down the pipeline and you got the Krees and the Skrulls and everyone fighting each other.
Yeah, I like that little part at the end with Gladiator and Kid Gladiator going out on like a hunt, a brood hunt, and they learn that like that an accuser is in their sector, so they're like, oh, better hunt.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, kids, we're going to go shoot this guy now. I like to, there's an accuser. Yeah, it's a Kree accuser. Is it Ronan? No, just another one. Oh.
No, because Ronan died, ? In Royals.
Yeah, Ronan hasn't been around for a bit.
Yeah.
Even the other one.
I did like in that, in those like appendice thingies that we get between pages, they mentioned Black Bolt and how he may have become the Midnight King and all of that sort of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's exciting. Please do something with him in Empire.
Hickman clearly likes Black Bolt because he gave him probably one of the coolest moments in his fight with Thanos back when he was writing Avengers and that stuff. So don't be shocked, if we see him again.
Yeah, I hope we do. I really hope we do.
Yeah, don't be shocked if he comes back for something because that'd be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
What else did we have this week? That was your update on X-Men, everyone. X-Men continues to be pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, again, I'm so mad at them for making good books because I want to read them all. And there's only been like one that's, I wouldn't even call it terrible, but it's not like, it's like, eh.
And that was Fallen Angels. Yeah. And Fallen Angels was perfectly adequate.
Yeah, yeah.
Just not as good as the others.
Damn you, Hickman.
Yeah, and other writers for doing really cool shit. And you're right, I do want to read them all. But it's no good for my wallet, and I just can't do X-Men endlessly on the channel, although that would probably do pretty good. I can't just become an X-Men channel. I swore it. I swore it in my YouTube rider that I would never become these things. What else was this week? Spider-Man 41 was pretty fun.
I'm behind on this book so bad.
It's another Spider-Man Boomerang team-up piece.
Oh, fantastic.
Which they're wonderful buddy cops. Spider-Man even says, like, man, I didn't think that, Boomerang would become my best friend, but he is now, and that speaks volumes to how fucked up my life is. And we also find out in this issue what exactly Kingpin's whole bone to pick with Fred Myers was and why he's been up his ass since this book began.
Oh, really?
It ties into Secret Empire.
Oh, wow. What happened?
So after Secret Empire, Boomerang became like a little bit of a celebrity there because he's like, yep, I took down a whole Hydra cell on my own. I'm a big swinging dick, even though in reality he actually didn't. He was killed by the Punisher, but when the universe rewrit itself, anything could happen. He got his own fan club called the Boomers, and yes, he says, okay, my Boomers. One of his fan club was a guy who worked for the city of New York cataloging all the magical artifacts that the city comes in contact with after big superhero fights.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those items was the Lifeline tablet, which is a totally 100% real thing from Spider-Man history from like the late 60s that villains like Hammerhead and Silvermane and Kingpin fought over, because the idea is if you had it, it would give you eternal life, but it also might kill you. It did lots of things. And what is it? Kingpin, when he became mayor, really wanted the Lifeline tablet for himself, and he was moving heaven and earth to get it. But this dude broke the tablet into pieces, hid it all over the city. Then, gave Kingpin an incomplete map, only to give Boomerang, via a magic spell, the full and complete map. So he's the only one who knows where all the pieces are hidden.
Oh, nice.
So him and Spider-Man go on basically a Goonies-style treasure hunt all over New York to try and find the pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's fun, and it's funny, and it's light, and it's really good shit.
Cool. I've got to catch up with that book.
Jersey Luck saying Nick Spencer's the only person who wants to reference Secret Empire. You are not reading Captain America, then.
Yeah, Captain America's like full into it.
Literally, it's dealing with the fallout of it. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man continues to be a lot of fun. I know people are complaining, like, when's he ever going to say who Kindred is? I'm like, man, if I'm getting fun buddy cop stories like this, I don't give a shit if he ever explains who Kindred is. We'll get there. I just want these fun, kind of laid-back stories.
Yeah.
What else did you have, Matt?
I had a big Star Wars week. I had 3 Star Wars books this week.
I read one of these Star Wars books.
And I'm guessing that one is the Kylo Ren book.
No, it was Bounty Hunters, actually.
Oh, we'll talk about Bounty Hunters then. Yeah, Bounty Hunters by Ethan Sachs was damn good.
See, I thought it was a little all over the place, actually. But then again, I don't read as many Star Wars books as you, so I was a little lost for some of these things.
Yeah, this is kind of like a sequel to Target Vader, which I think he wrote as well.
He did.
Yeah. It's kind of a sequel to that because we've got Valance there. This is set during that time period after that book, where we find out that he was on a botched mission with Boba Fett and Bosk and all these other hunters, including his mentor, who kind of went rogue on that mission for some reason and made him fuck it up completely.
Ruined the job, and now, of course, as is so often the situation, many years later, there's a chance for revenge that will bring all these bounty hunters back together.
Yeah, it was a good issue that set up everything, so now the book can just like hit the ground running and just get into it. Just get into these Bosk fighting Boba Fett's and Valance blowing up stuff with his hand cannon and everything.
I did like Bosk versus the big black Wookiee who's friends with Dr. Afra.
Yeah, Black Chrysanthemum, yeah.
Black Chrysanthemum. That was a cool ass fight. I'm like, all right, this is pretty sweet if nothing else.
Yeah, I like Bosk. I like that they're not shying away as well from the whole Trandoshans utterly hate Wookiees and hunt them for sport, as we've seen in like the Clone Wars and the past EU and stuff like that.
What was his quote there where it's like, no, boss, don't mess up my cantina? He's like, oh, you're going to have a good new Wookiee rug in a minute. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, if you're not really up to date on a lot of what's been happening in Star Wars, there's a good chance you'll be lost on this one. And I did read Target Vader because I did want to read this. And yeah, Ethan Sachs has basically been doing a whole, like, almost his own little Remenderverse, because he did Target Vader. He's doing Bounty Hunters. He also did Han Solo Imperial Pilot, where Valance showed up in that too.
Yeah. He's building like his own little universe with these characters, and I'm really glad Valance is back in canon. It was brought back in canon for that Target Vader series, which was preceded by that continuation of the original Star Wars comic issue 107 or something by Matthew Rosenberg.
Right, and if I am to understand, this bounty hunter book isn't just going to be about these guys. They just picked these 3 because it's like, ooh, here are the 3 most recognizable Star Wars bounty hunters for this book.
I think it's going to be like a cycle. We're going to have different bounty hunters every couple of stories or something.
What bounty hunters would you like to see, Matt?
I will. I don't know. I really hope they create some classic, like, originals characters. I'd like to see like maybe bringing Grief Karga and people from the
that'd be fun.
Stuff like that. I'd like to see hunters from the old EU come in. So like this hunter called, what was his name? His name was like Daharten, and he's basically a living laser cannon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, his head is a laser cannon, basically.
What about Dengar? Can we see some more
Yeah,
Dengar?
Dengar, who was a big. I'd actually like to see him because in that Target Vader book, he betrayed Valance. So I'd like to see him, Valance, come and like kick his shit in.
I mean everything needs more Dengar. And yeah, let's see some IG robots in there too while we're
Yeah,
at it.
yeah.
There's definitely a lot of stuff they can do. Some stories I feel they haven't told in this new continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the chat saying Kyle Katarn. Oh yeah, they'll get right on that.
Oh yeah.
That's on the list. Don't you worry. What tell us about the other Star Wars books because it was a big Star Wars week.
Yeah, I had Kylo Ren issue 4, which was the ending of this little arc that Charles Soule did with the character, basically showing you how Ben Solo became Kylo Ren. And this issue paid off pretty much the entire series because up until now, the whole series has been kind of happenstance with how Ben turned to the dark side. Like he accidentally killed this Jedi, or people think he destroyed the Jedi Temple, which he didn't. It was Palpatine or Snoke or a clone. I don't fucking know.
He joins up with the Knights of Ren because Snoke told him to.
Yeah, it's all been kind of happenstance, but this is the issue where he decides that like he thinks he has a. Everyone seems to think he has a choice, but as Ben puts it, he doesn't have a choice. Everything has already been predetermined for him, thanks to his names, the legacy he's part of. Like people don't see him as a person; they see him as like a tool because of these things.
I did like his complaining in the previous issue about his names, where it's like, I was named after a guy I never fucking met.
Mm-hmm.
And, a last name that's not even my fucking dad's. In fact, Ben Kenobi, that's not even his name either. I was given 2 fake names. That's bull. Didn't you think how that would screw me up, Mom and Dad? I'm like, that's a fair point, you little Kylo Ren. Yeah, that pissed me off, too. You were given 2 alias names.
Yeah, so this issue he was with the Knights of Ren, and they were, like, looking for, like, another artifact like they've been doing. And the 2 surviving Padawans from Luke's temple catch up with him, and he ends up fighting them. And he ends up killing Ty, which was kind of like his best friend, though we find out he didn't actually kill him. It was Ren who killed him with the Force. And he ends up fighting Ren and giving in to the anger. And again, he's like, he hears Palpatine's voice in his head through Snoke, and we get to see all that. And he taps into the dark side and kills the Ren with his own saber, and then he kills the actual Jedi. The first Jedi he actually kills is the woman who was like his, I guess, rival at the school, that Vo woman.
Yeah.
Actually kills her, and it's actually quite brutal because he's like, "Oh, you'll never be a Jedi because you won't be alive long enough to be one," and just like stabs her in the chest.
Wow, what a little prick.
Yeah, and then the ending of the book is him making his famous lightsaber, his crossguard lightsaber. And we get to see him bleed the crystal and turn it into a dark side crystal.
Which we've set up in the Charles Soule's book now. That's how Sith get their red color, because they bleed and torture a kyber crystal.
Yeah, and he puts it in the saber, and it doesn't work because like it's too powerful. It's cracked and not right. So he has to put the crossguard on it to keep it right.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask him, like, do they actually give a reason as to why the crossguard, and not that he's just like a big Jedi fanboy, where it's like, man, the High Republic was so cool. I'm just like a Jedi hipster. I want a crossguard on mine.
Well, I think we kind of knew that was going to happen anyway, because I think in like the Force Awakens visual dictionary, it explained like these are like vents that stop it from like blowing up.
Which I kind of like the idea that he just put it together wrong, because he is such a try-hard Sith. He's just like, oh, my DIY was wrong, and now it's got stuff coming out of the side. No, it's cool. I'm going to own it.
It looks like an upside-down cross. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm so fucking cool. Then he has a little freak out and breaks some stuff. And the poor troopers outside are just like, oh, God, he's doing it again.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was a pretty cool book. It did what it could with like the tools it was given. Like I get the feeling like there were some like mandates to like what Charles Soule had to put into that book. So like and it was funny because in this last issue is like when we finally saw stuff like Palpatine and stuff. So I'm like, oh, they didn't tell him until this time, I don't think.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing too. Like he seems pretty close with Skywalker Ranch, but even still, they're like, well, we can't have you spoiling this movie, so can't have you spoil some of the stupider things in this movie, like Palpatine is back and maybe a clone. We don't know.
And maybe behind Snoke and all of that sort of stuff.
You think they could do a sequel to this one? Because you figure there's still probably a big gulf of time between, Ben Solo becoming Kylo Ren and the events of Force Awakens.
Yeah, well, like, the First Order is not even in it. Like, Hux gets mentioned once in the first issue.
Right.
So, like, yeah, you could definitely do a sequel where taking place after this issue where he's become Kylo Ren, he gets inducted into the First Order by Snoke and everything and made his enforcer and stuff like that. You could definitely do something with that. And then he starts his quest to look for Luke Skywalker after learning he's alive.
Yeah, how much of a political wheeler and dealer was Snoke, I want to know, from his garden planet. Although, are we going to make a character of him at all anymore now that we know he's a clone? Was Snoke a real... I want another Snoke series. Was Snoke a real guy? How did he get put on the garden planet?
We're not getting any of that, I guarantee you.
No, of course not. I'm like, come on. If they can... You know what? We need a cartoon. We need David Filoni. If he can hammer an interesting three-dimensional character out of Darth Maul, he can do something with Snoke.
Well, all you need to do with Snoke is say, okay, the Snoke that we saw in the films and stuff was a clone, but, like, one that, like, developed his own like free will, and while his own agenda lined up with Palpatine's, like why he stayed on as sort of like the supreme commander sort of thing.
There's places you
could do something interesting with that, and yeah, Dave Filoni could definitely do something interesting with that.
Come on, Dave Filoni, make Star Wars good. Come on, just do it. He brought back
a character with no legs. You could do the same with Snoke. You bring him back with robotic legs and robotic arms, and yeah.
No, now he has a robotic up. His legs are the same, but he just has a robotic top part and torso.
They rebuilt the top part.
He just literally starts talking out of his wang. Ah, yes, this is where my species actually keeps all its important organs in the genitals. You did not know this, but it is true. Ha 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 ha. Snoke lives again. Time to do more bad guy shit. And that'll be the sequel series, everyone. Boy, I bet they wish they didn't ask me to write this. I had so many great ideas.
Probably more than what they actually had. You've given it more thought already.
There you go. Now you had a third Star Wars book too, Matt.
Yeah, and that was Darth Vader issue 2.
Right. So when we last left off with Vader, he met one of Padme's impersonators, and that was just rustling his jimmies.
Yeah, so he goes through a lot of this issue thinking it's Padme, and it keeps throwing him off guard, even to the point where he like kind of stammers and stutters a little bit because because seeing her has given him Nam flashbacks to like when they like fought on Geonosis, and when he choked her out on Mustafar and everything.
So romantic. He's just fighting the urge to talk about sand.
Yeah, but we do indeed learn that this is a handmaiden. This is Sabe, the one I knew it was going to be. And we learn that she's been kind of looking into Padme's death because she, like Vader, thinks that someone murdered Padme and hid it. And while she doesn't, because she's part of like the rebellion or like an early like rebel cell, while she doesn't like Vader or like trust him and stuff, they end up working together to try and get to the bottom of this. And to do so, they need to head to Naboo because Sabe was the one who broke into Padme's quarters and stole the like security recordings, but she couldn't decrypt them because she needed Imperial codes, and before she could get them, the war sort of started breaking out, and the rebellion needed her and her people. So she hid them on Naboo, and the issue ends with her leading Vader to Naboo, and Vader isn't too happy about that because that's where, he met Padme and married her, and, he's having Nam flashbacks, and it's not sitting right with him, making him angry and everything.
Man, I hope they visit the Gungan city.
The Gungans, yes.
The Gungans, I hope they have a good reason. You know, what's Boss Nass doing in this timeline? I want to know.
I really want it. I really want Greg Pak to bring in like Jar Jar Binks, like because
Yes.
I have a feeling I'm just trying to remember where he is in at this time in the universe, because this is between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I think he was on Naboo. I know by the time like Force Awakens come, he's like a circus clown, like a street performer.
Man, like, come on, Greg Pak. You really want to make us think you're a great writer? Redeem Jar Jar in the comics. Do it. Tell us the rich, deep, interesting Laurence Olivier story of Jar Jar.
Hey, you could do a story. You could, because when you think about it, he's technically the one that allowed the Empire to rise to power.
Yeah, it was his vote.
And I think that's where that story, I think it was written by Chuck Wending in one of his Empire's End book. Where like he has massive guilt over that.
Yes, he should.
And he's like disgraced and why he's a street performer and everything, and he just wants to make people laugh.
Matt, here's my pitch. We call it Old Man Jar Jar. It's set in the end of his days. He's living out there in the Gungan city right there. He can't deal with this shame until he has one last chance to put it right. He needs to pick up his guns one more time. Oosa, and then he just trips all over shit.
No, he doesn't pick up his guns. He picks up those weird ball things they had in the first.
There you go.
I can't remember what the fuck they're called.
Here's your pitch. You know, this summer, Old Man Jar Jar will need to grab his balls one more time.
Yeah, he gets up, steps in the poopy, and falls over.
There you go. Jar Jar, you're the only one who can do this. You need to walk through this stupid death trap because only your slapstick abilities can help. For some reason, you just need to Jack Sparrow bumblefuck your way through a scenario and save everybody.
Yeah, like that Clone Wars arc in the series before the most recent one, where he's with Mace Windu on that island on that planet. And he ended up like falling in love with like a queen or something and becoming like king of a people for some reason.
For some reason. He's a goddamn fucking Charlie Chaplin ass character is what he is. Just falls in and bumbles his way through situations. And then in the end, he meets Darth Vader and we just do that robot chicken sketch, but totally serious. Annie, it's a you.
And then Vader just violently kills him.
Yeah, shut up, you stupid space rabbit, shut up. No, you know what it is? We do like a weird like life imitating art thing. So like Jar Jar goes to all these like historical conventions and everything. And it's like us talking about Ahmed Best's career. Jar Jar being like, Jar Jar don't want to live anymore. Jar Jar hates all this abuse. What did Jar Jar do? Just make it really fucking sad and meta. I only want to make you laugh, whoopity doopity. There you go. That's my super dark ass Jar Jar pitch, everyone. I'm sure Disney will be calling me any day now to Skywalker Ranch where I can write Old Man Jar Jar.
I'm sure they will be.
Man, fuck it. Let's fan fund this, everyone. Throw us some money right now and Matt and I will write Old Man Jar Jar. That's some good stuff. But other comics happened too this week.
They did.
I had Immortal Hulk issue number 32.
Oh, tell me what's going on with Metal Gear Hulk.
Man, this shit's getting fucking windy and twisty and like, you know, really out there. Like, I thought it was outside the box before, but Ewing just kicks that box aside and here's a bigger box that he's actually out. So Zemnu, the Living Hulk, aka the first Marvel character ever to have that name, returned working for Roxxon. And we knew he had like a weird power at the end of the last issue, and we thought like, okay, you know, Roxxon is going to build him up to be this corporate hero to try and discredit the Hulk, so you know they can make more money. It's actually way more complicated and horrifying than that.
Oh, jeez.
So Zemnu has developed a new power. He can basically manipulate the Mandela effect just by looking at you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, he can manipulate just by looking at you, and because he's a minor celebrity now, everyone is looking at him on their computer and their tablets and everything, and that actually amplifies his power through a screen.
God, just call him Deus Ex Machina now.
He basically is. And the thing is that so when people look at him, he's able to literally rewrite their memories to think that he's their favorite superhero. So like every like great moment they have of Captain America or the Hulk or Daredevil, they don't think of them anymore. They think of Zemnu. Zemnu did all these things. And because of that, he's the biggest hero on Earth because he's fucked with everybody's memories. And even Banner's too, to the point he doesn't even remember being Bruce anymore. He's calling himself Robert Banner now.
Okay.
But Robert Banner can actually control his Hulk personalities, and because of that, the Hulk hasn't been able to get out, and it's really pissing the Hulk off that he won't let him out. Rick can seem to see through all of this. I think the idea is because Rick has the weird like zombie gamma eyes. It can't affect him.
Yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't affect McGowan either. And she actually, I don't want to spoil it, but she actually has a really great reason as to why Zemnu's power doesn't affect her.
Yeah.
Yes, it's super clever and it's tied into her origin we learned about. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? So they give her a lot to do this issue. And the big final stinger there is, we see the big dumb Hulk just like smashing on the mirror because obviously Bruce always sees the Hulk in his reflection and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Hulk won out, Hulk angry. And then he hears a voice behind him where it's like, yeah, but you're not as angry as me. Move over, kid. I'm going to handle this. And it's the World Breaker Hulk.
Oh, no.
From World War Hulk. It's like, all right, you know what? I've been letting you guys handle this for too long. I'm in this fight. And it's great because you see the big guy Hulk, who's like, massive. Then you see World Breaker Hulk, and he's like 3 feet taller than him. And World Breaker Hulk's like, all right, let me out. I'm going to kick Zemnu's ass.
Oh, that's awesome. I gotta read this, but once I get like all my stuff sorted out, I gotta go back and read it.
It's amazing, and you'll love being able to catch up on all of it now. This is like Alan Moore Swamp Thing territory is what we're in right now.
Nice.
Where this shit is just, brain warping and just like, whoa, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he went there. I never thought of it that way. It's nuts.
Awesome.
And the chat is right. World Breaker Hulk is an absolute unit.
he is the unit.
He is. And as I am surprised to find out, I thought World Breaker was 2 words too. It's actually 1 word in the official Marvel wiki.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's nuts. And agreed, DNGL Ewing has mastered the art of the last page reveal.
Yeah.
You thought it was Bendis, but it was actually Ewing.
Well, it's good you mentioned Bendis because I had Superman issue 21.
Right, you had a new Superman book. What is happening in the world of the Superman?
This has been actually getting quite great, actually.
Interesting.
So we've got story on 2 fronts. The first being Lois Lane being ambushed by the Daily Star, with a video surfacing of Superman kind of like taking the reins and saying that he speaks for Earth in the United Planets and everything without telling Earth. So people are like sensationalizing this as Superman calling himself the King of Earth. Playing it up the media and everything, and the media like jump her, and because they find her in Chicago, and they're like, what's your husband doing? Why is he doing this? Is he the leader now? What does he want and everything? And Lois is like, I'm not playing to any of this. This is like low like bottom TMZ media sort of hack writing sort of stuff. You're better than this, Daily Star, do better. She wants to know where the video came from, and it's related to Star Labs, which we know that Star Labs recently have been quite evil.
Yeah. You know what's even funnier about that is Superman, the leader of Earth now. Weirdly enough, Bendis kind of already foreshadowed that in like Man of Steel when Martian Manhunter's like, you should take over Earth, Superman.
Yeah. That kind of is like related to that, yeah.
I can't believe I'm giving credit to Man of Steel, but holy shit, Bendis actually did kind of foreshadow that.
Yeah, and while she's dealing with that and trying to track where this video came from, and like she knows, like, since if he's technically the king of Earth, that makes her the queen of Earth. And she's like, oh God, I'm going to need a lawyer. She's dealing with that. Superman is fighting Mongol in space, and Mongol has come for the United Planets.
Oh no.
And we find out that this Mongol, which is the Mongol that was in the Superman villains book that took over from previous Mongol, he's smarter than the average Mongol. Because as we learn,
grab them picnic baskets.
As we learn, this whole thing hasn't been about fighting Superman. It has been, but he's smart enough to not fight Superman directly, more or less. He took out the United Planets because he knew that was like part of Superman's legacy with his son and everything, and he wanted to sort of like take Superman out at the knees with that and sort of make him sort of question whether this could actually happen. And because he took out the United Planets leaders, it's caused the Dominators, the Thanagarians, the Tanimarians to all start fighting each other because of the chaos and everything. They didn't know who took out who, so they all just started fighting in this big intergalactic war. So while Superman has to deal with that, Mongol has moved Warworld to Earth.
Oops. Which again is like the 5th or 6th time it's been there this week, but you know.
Yeah, and it's funny, the Justice League come and help Superman and in the cleanup once he stops the war, and they're like, yeah, you should probably head back to Earth because your wife's dealing with all this shit that you've been doing out here on Earth. Kind of like blaming him a little bit because he's been away from Earth doing all this United Planet stuff and not paying attention to what is happening back on Earth. So yeah, he has to head back to Earth, and that's where he finds out that Mongol has been kind of like getting one up on him by moving Warworld there while he's been fighting off world.
I certainly don't hate the idea of a smarter Mongol being the villain.
Yeah, I actually like that he's not like, I'm just going to hit Superman until he falls down.
Yeah. And then, you know, something War World, although his plan still is something War World, but fair enough.
Yeah, and the book ends with Lois Lane being confronted by Cameron Chase, who now works for the FBI, who's now getting involved in this whole Superman is apparently the king of Earth thing.
Who is Cameron Chase again? That sounds familiar.
She was the leader of the DEO before the DEO got taken over by Mr. Bones.
Right. Well, I guess that's good that character went somewhere.
Yeah, they actually did something with her.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. That's probably the more glowing a Superman review than you've gotten in a while here on the Comic Multiverse.
Yeah, well, I think starting with the last issue, it's actually been pretty good, and it's been playing with that whole identity reveal thing really well. It's actually been talking about it, unlike how the last time it happened in the New 52, it just like happened and didn't go anywhere. Superman got a motorbike and a t-shirt. That's it.
Yeah, he did. He sure did.
And went to a fight club. I just remembered that.
That's right, he did. And then kind of teamed up with Gordon Batmech, but they didn't really talk about it that much, which you figure that they should be able to get along better. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. That was a weird time in history, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What else did I have? Ooh, I had Thor #4.
I did as well. This was a baller of an issue.
It was, man. Thor's fighting his friends a lot. He's cracking under the pressure of being king of Asgard and being a herald.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to tell them anything, and I guess it stems from, like, I'm king, I don't have to explain myself.
Which I like that. I actually, was kind of pissed at him in the previous issue when he broke Beta Ray Bill's hammer. I'm like, that's not cool. But then in this issue, he's like, well, yeah, I'm All-Father. I'm doing what my dad would do. I'm living by the only example of All-Father I know. And it's like, oh, but your dad sucked, Thor. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Sif calls him out on it. It's like, no, you're not Odin. You're better.
Yeah, be better. And he's like, oh yeah, my dad did suck at things. You're right. Oops, my bad.
They also kind of like progressed the story like quite more than I thought, because I thought we were going to get like a couple more issues of him going planet to planet, because there's 5 planets. And this story just kind of like drops that and just like, he's gotten all the 5 planets.
Yeah, they kicked the turbos in on this one.
Yeah. Now he's facing the Black Winter, which is a giant cloud with a big skull face in it.
Which is not too great. I like we do get to see some of those special planets, and one of the planets had a race of psychic bears on. I'm like, I want to know more about the bear planet.
Yeah, hey, well, he saved them. So
he did.
We could see them.
He saved the psychic bears. It's fun too because like this whole story has basically been like Thor's trying to have his own story about being king and dealing with his friends, and Galactus is in the background as like the worst boss ever, being like, "We are on the clock. Stop developing. We have things to do."
And
To
he's
where
right.
eventually he
He's
just,
right though as well.
you could argue that, to where he just gets so pissed off and impatient he just eats the last planet while there's people on it, even though those people were like, "Hey, we actually want to fight with Thor against the Black Winter. You know, we actually want to help." Apparently not.
Hmm.
Also, I guess the idea too, if Thor is now the new Allfather and everything, he could commission the creation of new hammers, couldn't he? So he should probably rebuild Stormbreaker for Beta Ray Bill, I think.
I think he will, because there's that line where like Sif is like, "Are you gonna like tell your people what's happening or like what's going on?" And he says like, after I've dealt with this Black Winter, I'll tell them everything." And I imagine that's gonna
Yeah.
be like the page where he gives Bill a new hammer or something.
He also swears that between when this is done between him and Galactus, they're gonna have it out and they're gonna have fisticuffs.
Yeah, I like that Thor doesn't take any of his shit. Like Galactus is like, "Oh, I'm more powerful. I'm powerful than you," and Thor just like hits him with the lightning and tells him to shut up.
Yeah, he took the power cosmic
Yeah.
back, which was kind of amazing. And
Yeah.
Galactus is like, "You can do that? You can do that. You can just take that back." Really, I imagine somewhere in the universe, Noir and Rad and Firemaster and Terrax and all the other heralds are like, "We could do that.
We had that skill.
We could just do it. We could just take it back whenever we wanted, apparently." Well, go us. But yeah, Thor's kind of cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Loki lifts Mjolnir.
Yes, for a second, implying that either Loki has changed or the magic of Mjolnir has changed.
Yeah. Well, the text seems to imply that the magic around it, because Odin isn't All Father anymore. The spell has like weakened or like isn't there, but no one knows that it's not there.
Right, like it's invalid now, where now
Mhm.
anyone could reasonably pick it up because that was Odin's old enchantment.
Yeah.
Which I feel they could do a lot of interesting stuff with that. You know, Thor just keeps throwing the hammer to people so they can get powered up.
Yeah.
Would be a fun time too to bring back what is it, Eric Masterson and a lot of those other Thor characters that didn't show up in the Aaron run.
Yeah. Yo, well, I have to feel like they would be coming back, because yeah, Aaron never touched on any of those characters.
No,
Which is really strange.
I mean, hell, Sif has actually done more in these last 4 issues than she had in all of the Aaron run.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Kate's is like, no, she's a character too. She's important.
Yeah, and gave her like a really cool job where she's now basically the new Heimdall.
Yeah, I dig it. People saying I'd like to see Loki earn Mjolnir. He technically lifted it up in Axis, which I had to tell everyone, no, that one didn't count. He was inverted.
And I think he in Infinity Wars, like with his part of the story, I think it's implied that he eventually does lift it or like get it at one point.
Right. Yeah, in some alternate future, he does end up. He gets the hammer and he gets like all the Infinity Stones and everything. And it's just OP Loki.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Thor. Thor continues to be a lot of fun under Cates.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes. Couldn't have been easy picking up after Aaron wrote it for almost a decade, but there's some fun new ideas going on there.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's. I had one more. How about you?
I had two more.
Okay, cool. I will let you go then.
The first one I had was The Flash, issue 751.
Yes, Flash continue to go strong.
Yeah, this is the week after issue 750, which really surprised me. Continues the Flash Godspeed paradox story. We get like the classic reveal that like Godspeed was never working for the villain Paradox. He was a double agent because he's a cop. He went undercover and like he knew the moment Paradox came to him saying like, "Oh, we'll stop the Flash from ruining everything." He knew Paradox was only after power, which the villain is, because as we learn, every time the Flash fucks with the timeline or there's a crisis, something called crisis energy is released from the Flash, and
I like that a lot.
And Paradox feeds on that energy, and it makes him stronger. And he's realized that if he destroys the Flash's legacy, all of the crisis energy will be released, and he'll be unto a god in the multiverse and be able to just rip reality apart.
Solid plan, actually. Wait, so he's powered by crisis energy, so he's a YouTube comment section?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, crises, they power me. Keep them coming.
And it's why his symbol and his chest looks like Earth's like converging.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically why he wants to kill the Flash. He says it's because like, oh, Flash ruined his family and took him away and everything, but it boils down to him just wanting more power.
Fitting.
And he technically kind of gets that power because he seemingly kills the Flash and teleports Flash to some place that I have to assume is inside the Speed Force, because at that place, Flash meets his mother.
Oh shit.
And
We're doing the TV show now.
Yeah, and that's basically where the book ends.
Man, how good's the TV show been this year?
So good. It's been really damn good, especially the last couple of episodes, like post-crisis.
To think all it took to give Candace Patton something to do was to make her evil, and she's turning in the best work she's ever done.
Actually give her something to do.
Yeah, actually, give her something, important and something meaty to bite in on. Also, too, hey, A villains and B villains and C villains kind of makes it feel more like the comics. It makes it so the show doesn't feel spread so thin.
Yeah, and we also got like Gorilla Grodd Flash, which was actually in last week's issue of Flash as well.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Just in general, there's a lot of really cool stuff they got going on here.
There really is.
Yeah. I mean, they've all been really solid so far. Legends, just been a laugh riot.
Yep.
They brought back Damien Dark and actually kind of redeemed him a little bit, which I was not expecting.
I love Damien Dark coming back. I loved him in that last season when he was in there, when he was just like fucking around with the Legion of Doom and just like having a ball. And like, this was a character who was an Arrow and was like so hardcore edgy in that show. And it's like a completely different character now, where now he's like trying to look after his daughter and like is happy that she's marrying John Constantine, but really she's marrying Ray.
My favorite bit too is he complains about like, oh, all these millennial villains these days with their plans. That made me laugh because literally when Damien Dark was invented in the comics for Teen Titans, I'm pretty sure he was a young hip supervillain. He had a pager and that was like his defining characteristic. So I love that he's pissing and moaning about that when that's literally what he was. That's good stuff. But yeah, my last comic this week was the new Venom.
Oh, tell me about that.
Thin ass issue, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, half of it is Eddie having a dream, I shit you not.
Oh, no.
Because at the end of the last issue, oh no, the island I was on trying to purge the Carnage symbiote from my body, it blew up and I lost my suit again. Oh no. Actually, no, it was a dream. It's just this has been the Carnage symbiote in my mind fucking with me, making me think that the Avengers kick me out and take my son away and Null takes over Earth, and it's basically just Eddie's worst fears coming to life. But at the end, it's kind of interesting because, Dylan Brock has kind of been testing out his powers, and apparently he can remotely control symbiotes now, including his dad's.
Oh, jeez.
And not only can he do that, he can actually superpower them. So he takes Eddie's classic black suit and turns it into the Venom T-Rex from Old Man Logan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, don't ask how he can do that, and don't ask how he gets that reference. He just does.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I'm like, wait, are they implying he can like pull in symbiotes from the future?
Yeah, are they gonna start like talking about how the symbiote, like you can reach for a symbiote from across time and space, and like ones that haven't even happened yet?
Yeah, that would be a little much. Although it is interesting that Eddie gets taken over by the Carnage suit this issue, which means okay, so he's worn both the Venom suit and the Carnage suit.
Okay. Cool.
And technically the Toxin suit, too. So he's worn basically all the different suits.
He's worn them all. He's a man of many suits.
Man of many. That should be the end goal for this Donny Cates run. He wears all of them. Which, again, given what we know about codexes and everything, I guess that would link up.
Yeah.
If he wears all the suits, then he exists in all the codexes. And oh, yeah, he was anti-Venom, too. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Although Anti-Venom wasn't a real symbiote because it was created in a lab, right? So that one doesn't.
They could easily do something where like a little codex got sprinkled on him or something.
And he was scorned. Was he scorned too? I don't remember when he was scorned.
Yeah, it's probably like a one-off thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that sort of stuff.
Everything in comics has happened at some point. All right, so you said you had one more left there, Matt?
I did, and this was a book I was meant to get to last week, but never did, and that was Spider-Man Noir issue 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And okay, now my camera fucks up. I was just about to say, hey, we made it the whole show, and my camera hasn't fucked up yet. We almost made the whole show, Matt. But yes, tell me about the Noir.
So yeah, this looks like your usual Spider-Man Noir, like detective whodunit gumshoe story, and in a way it is, because it's all setting up like Spider-Man has come back to New York, because there was a time where he like disappeared there for a minute, but after last year there was like a Nazi blimp, and that's when the Spider-Man came back.
Oh shit.
And he's back now doing his detective thing, and he gets a case that of a woman who dies in the Black Cat, which is a speakeasy club run by Felicia Hardy.
Right.
And he knows the woman as a police informant, and in her hand she had like this brooch, and he's like, this is a clue. And he goes to like research what it is, and learns from this woman who turns out to be the dead woman's sister, that it's a what is it called, a cicada stone, which is used in like Babylonian rituals, and it was in the last time this woman saw it, because she's the curator of a museum, it was in the possession of Heinrich Hellstrom.
Is it Damien Hellstrom?
Yeah, and so they need to find out how her sister ended up with it, where Hellstrom has gone, because he's disappeared, and it basically leads into the book being a globe-trotting Indiana Jones adventure, because at the end we get the cool map with the Indiana Jones plane, and there's a little picture of the Spider-Man Noir in like an Indiana Jones outfit, but with a Spider-Man mask on.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
I like that it was like, okay, here's the detective stuff, but we're going to get rid of that for the next 4 issues, and it's just going to be Indiana Jones.
And we're already implying that he's going to be fighting Nazis, so I'm like, wait, are we doing the Nicolas Cage version now, where it's like, I like letting matches burn to the tip of my fingers, and I like punching Nazis?
Yeah, Nazis, and I think the artist Juan Ferreira, who's a fantastic artist, one of my favorites. He's like the noir shocker who looks like an Irishman with like a billy club.
Juan Ferrara listens to this channel, actually. He's commented once or twice before. Yeah. So, hey, if you're out there, Juan, we like your shit. Keep doing it.
Yeah, so very surprising. I just thought it was going to be your run-of-the-mill, detective story, as most noir books are. But yeah, it completely changed at the end, and I'm really excited for it.
That's dope. That's cool. I might have to check that one out then. But yeah, Spider-Man by way of Indiana Jones. What's not to love?
Yeah, and it's only a 5-issue mini.
Oh, well, there you go. Even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess with that, everyone, that's the show. Sorry, Danny, you just showed up right now at the end.
There's always one person who shows
always
up right
one.
At the end.
Always one, without a doubt. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching and listening. We hope we could bring a little joy and a little laughter into your life in these trying times. I joked last week, hey everyone, don't get sick until next time, and now I actually super mean it.
Yeah, don't get sick.
Don't get sick. Don't take any chances. Don't hang out with old people, apparently, who are just flouting all the rules on this one.
Yeah, don't go like hoarding toilet paper, because that's like a dick move.
Yeah, exactly. Share your teepee. Come on, man. You can do it. Everybody poops. That is what unites us together in these trying times. We all poop. Let us, instead of hands across America, let us have poops across America. For that will bridge the gap for everyone. Now Ultimate Dark Slayer also showing up just as we're winding down. Hey, everyone. But yeah, so as always, if you're a patron, you'll be able to get this episode first before anyone else, in both audio and Vizio. Yeah, Vizio. It's better than video. It's Vizio.
It's the new version of VHS. Yeah,
I'm sure to put all the artifacting and bullshit on it just for you. But yeah, you'll be sure to get that on Patreon. Everyone else, it's Wednesday, 8 a.m. You can expect the full show. Anything else you got going on, Matt? Anything at all?
Nah, not really. I'm probably gonna just continue doing reviews. I'm gonna try and get back into streaming the next couple of days, and like depending on like my work schedule with this whole coronavirus thing, I probably will be streaming. I want to stream some Neo because that game looks like it's made to be streamed.
Yeah, that one looks very fun. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing more either Darksiders, but probably more Monster Hunter because I'm so into the Monster Hunter right now.
We should stream together on that because I got it on PlayStation as well.
Apparently, joining that is a pain in the ass to try and get everyone together. Yes, apparently you got to like go into a hunt and accept a thing and come back. I've seen people playing Iceborne, and it's just a pain in the balls to try and team up with someone for it. I know. That's the one thing they got wrong, apparently.
Oh, no.
Shit, if you had a Darksiders Genesis, that's a 2-player one, and that's how you do it. It's literally you just drop in, drop out of your friend's game whenever you want.
Was that the one that was recently in the PlayStation Plus, or was that new?
That's the Definitive Edition. This is like the new top-down kind of Diablo ripoff-y one. Yeah. But we can find something to play. But yeah, exactly. If we're both going to be streaming, yeah, we should try and do something together.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a trivia game or something, we'll have a comic book Jeopardy. Which that would be so bullshit to have a comic book Jeopardy because those answers change all the time.
Yeah. It's like, well, when was this answer made? Because if it was before 2008.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is retconned. Or like, oh, well, this might be changing right now. We got to wait till this book is done. And that becomes the new canon. But yeah, thanks everyone for showing up on this Sunday night. We really appreciate it. Again, any donations, if you want to fill the cup, nothing is ever expected. Everything is always appreciated, and we'll be putting it back into the show to continue to bring you fun live comic book chats like this one.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so until then, everyone, I've been Joel.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you again next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.